Hi, my loves. Welcome back. I felt called today to sit down and do this collective reading because the energy right now feels heavy, chaotic, and charged. A lot of us are trying to stay grounded while everything around us feels reactive, loud, and unstable. Today, we're checking in on the collective energetic climate, what we're navigating in our communities, what ancient wisdom we're being asked to remember, how to tell fear from truth, how to protect our spirit, and where to place our energy so that we can stay steady even when the country feels like it's fracturing. This is a collective reading, so not everything will resonate with everyone, and that's okay. Make sure that you trust your intuition. Take what speaks to your heart and gently leave the rest. And if you ever feel called to get a personal pendulum or tarot reading, I offer both through my Etsy shop. You can find the link in the video description and in the pinned comment below. All right, let's slow this down together. Let's listen and see what Spirit wants us to understand right now. Spirit, what is the current energetic climate we must navigate within our communities? The first card we were given is Medicine Mother. Honor your inner knowing. Seer, see beyond the current situation. And Snake, shed old skin. As I sit with this, the first thing I feel is how heavy the air is. Not chaotically exactly, just reactive. Like everything is designed to keep our nervous system activated, but immediately Spirit is pulling me inward instead of outward. With Medicine Mother here, I'm being reminded that what your body knows isn't panic, it's information. If something feels off in your environment, in your feed, in the way that things are being framed, that's not weakness, that's your discernment. You don't need external confirmation to know when something is safe or aligned. And then Seer and Snake come in together, and this is important. Spirit is asking us to zoom out because what looks like disorder right now is actually exposure. Something old is shedding, and shedding is never quiet. It's uncomfortable, it's messy, and it can feel alarming if you're staring too closely at the surface. What I keep hearing is this: don't let urgency steal your perspective. Protection right now doesn't come from reacting to every signal. It comes from staying rooted in your inner knowing while the outer layers fall away. Let the old skin shed. You don't need to grab it on the way down. Spirit, what ancient wisdom do our ancestors want us to reclaim to protect our families and our sovereignty while the laws of the land feel lawless? We receive Druid, hold the space. Shield Maiden, make plans and focus. Mountains, stand your ground. And Air Guardian, shift your perception. The first thing I feel is how unstable the outer world feels right now. Like the rules keep changing, the ground keeps shifting, and people are trying to orient themselves while everything moves all at once. And immediately Spirit pulls me backward, not into the past, but into lineage. What's coming through very clearly is that our ancestors didn't survive times like this by panicking. They survived by holding their ground internally. The Druid energy feels like quiet strength, holding the center when everything around you is noisy, not arguing with the chaos and not absorbing it, just holding steady. Then the Shield Maiden steps in, and the message becomes practical. I'm feeling Spirit say, this is not the moment for impulsive reaction. This is the moment for intention, for planning, for focus. Sovereignty doesn't come from permission, it comes from preparedness and from knowing where you stand before anyone tries to move you. The mountain's energy here is very strong. It feels like Spirit is saying, plant your feet. Don't let volume confuse you into thinking that something has authority. Just because something is loud doesn't mean it's powerful. So stand your ground even if the pressure is uncomfortable. And the Air Guardian shifts the lens completely, and this feels important. Spirit keeps pulling me towards the idea of frequency. what's happening inside the home, inside the body, and inside the mind. You may not be able to control what's happening nationally, but you absolutely can control the atmosphere you're building for yourself and for your family. What I keep hearing is this: stop asking, what are they doing to us? And start asking, what am I building for mine? That's how sovereignty is reclaimed, quietly, intentionally, and rooted. Spirit, how can we distinguish between the noise designed to keep us afraid and the truth that we need to act upon? We received Elder, healing through the lineage. Mirror Guardian, take time to reflect. And Warrior, be fearless and stand strong. As I tune into this, the energy immediately goes to the nervous system. I can feel how overstimulated people are, how constant information, headlines, and alerts are keeping everyone in a low grade state of stress, and Spirit gently redirects the attention inward. The Mirror Guardian comes inward first, and it feels like an invitation to pause, to stop scanning for danger and start listening to yourself again. Spirit is saying that most of the truth you actually need right now doesn't arrive through urgency. It arrives through stillness, through reflection, and through the moments when you step away from the screen and notice what's happening inside of you. The elder energy feels ancestral again. There's a reminder here that these patterns aren't new. Power has always used fear to control attention. When that familiar fear starts rising, Spirit is encouraging you to ask a very important question. Is this mine, or is this something being projected onto me? And then the warrior steps in, not aggressive, not combative, but solid. This isn't about fighting anyone physically. It's about having the internal strength to refuse mental occupation, to say no to propaganda, to say no to emotional manipulation, and to protect your inner peace. What I'm feeling Spirit emphasize here is that fear loses power the moment that you stop feeding it with your attention. Being fearless right now doesn't mean being loud. It means being disciplined, calmed, and anchored in what you know to be true. So stand strong. That's where your clarity lives. What ritual or grounding practice is non negotiable for us this week to prevent our spirits from being eroded by the current political intensity? We received High Priest, intend and create. Oracle, wait for important information. And Spirit Fox, trust your talents in changing times. As I asked this, the energy immediately slowed down. Spirit isn't rushing this answer at all. It feels very intentional, very deliberate. What I'm feeling first is the need to set the tone before the world gets a chance to. The High Priest energy is strong here. This isn't about doing something elaborate, it's about intention. Spirit is saying that your peace doesn't happen by accident this week. It has to be claimed, chosen, and created on purpose, especially before you engage with the outside world. There's a clear message about beginning your day consciously, even if it's just for a moment. Before you reach for your phone, before you turn on the news, before the noise, you have to decide how you want to feel before anyone tells you how to feel. That alone acts as spiritual protection. Then Oracle steps in, and this part feels very important. Spirit is asking for restraint. Not everything needs an immediate reaction. Not every headline deserves your energy. There's wisdom in waiting, in letting information settle before you absorb it emotionally. Spirit keeps repeating, pause before you respond. And then the Spirit Fox comes through and the energy softens. This feels reassuring. Spirit is reminding you that you're adaptable. You've navigated through hard times before, even if they look different. Your intuition knows how to move through uncertainty without becoming consumed by it. The non negotiable practice this week is trust. Trusting your discernment, trusting your ability to adapt, And trust that you don't need to stay constantly plugged in to stay aware. Your spirit needs quiet to stay sharp. And the last thing we asked was, where should we place our focus and energy to build stability for ourselves, even as the country feels like it's fracturing? We were given Sky Father, trust in the unknown. Autumn, release the old and rest. Heart Guardian, love and let yourself be loved. Shaman, trust in higher forces. And Water Guardian, connect with your emotions. As I ask this question, the energy moves straight into the heart space. Spirit isn't pointing outward at systems or structures, it's pointing inward and then outward through connection. What I'm feeling very clearly is that stability right now doesn't come from certainty, it comes from trust. The Sky Father energy feels expansive, like Spirit asking us to accept that we won't have all the answers, and that's okay. Trying to control the unknown is exhausting. Trusting that there is something larger holding the process brings relief. Autumn comes in next, and there's a very gentle release happening here. Spirit is asking us to let go of old expectations, especially the idea that things are supposed to feel familiar or safe in a way that they once did. Some versions of stability are falling away because they were never meant to last forever. Rest is part of the rebuilding, not a failure. The Heart Guardian and the Water Guardian together feel deeply emotional. Spirit is saying that love and real connection is grounding right now. So let yourself feel, let yourself love, and let yourself be supported. Emotional numbness is not strength, emotional honesty is. And then the shaman wraps around this entire message. This feels like Spirit is reminding us that we are not meant to carry the weight of the whole country, the whole system, or the whole future on our backs. Higher forces are at work here. You're a participant, not the sole architect. What I keep hearing is build stability where you stand, in your body, in your relationships, and in your spiritual connections, because that's how you stay grounded when everything else feels unsteady. My loves, thank you so much for staying with me through this reading. What came through today wasn't about panic or prediction, it was about stability, about remembering who we are when the world feels unsteady. Spirit reminded us to trust our inner knowing, to hold our ground without hardening, to step out of fear based noise, and to build sovereignty quietly, intentionally, and close to home. If there's one thing to carry with you from this session, it's this. You don't need to absorb the chaos to stay informed. You don't need to react to stay awake. And you don't need certainty to stay grounded. Build stability where you stand, in your body, in your relationships, and in your spiritual connections, because that's where you're going to find your power. This was a collective reading. Not every message will resonate with everyone. Listen to your intuition. Take what spoke to your heart and leave the rest. I would love to hear what resonated for you. Let me know what stood out or what spirit stirred inside you while listening. I love reading everything you have to say. And if you ever feel called to get a personal pendulum or tarot reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop. You can find the link in the pinned comment below and in the video description. Thank you again for watching and for being a part of this beautiful community. I love you, I appreciate you, and I'll meet you in the comments.